All right, y'all, I apologize. It's starting to get dark, but I'm going to do my first 10-minute undo mindset videos for internal people. Used to do these before. They used to go over 10 minutes. I'm going to try my hardest to do all like things that are within 10 minutes. And I'm going to do it out on my porch because sometimes it just gets a little too crazy in my house and noisy and all the things. And this is my self-care. I come hang out on my driveway most nights and just hang out. Okay, so my first video, I want to talk about the brain. Through my other videos, I will go through like different skills and tools that we teach and some of like the different lessons that I often talk about within those different skills and tools. I think these videos will be really helpful for you no matter what work you are doing within the organization, because I think it better helps you understand the curriculum. So like if you're in social media marketing, or you're on the website, or you are on the curriculum team, or like literally it does not matter what committee, this will understanding of what it is we're putting out there will help you have a better perspective of this work, to really talk about it, to articulate it in all the things that we're doing, right? The other thing too is I believe that we all need to be doing the work, right? And like if we're going to put this out into the world, we have to actually know what it's about and what we're doing. Okay, so I always start with talking about the brain, and I always use, I am an educator at heart, so I always use like kid language, and my daughter used to do this whole little spiel, so I use her vocabulary. But you have your brain stem. That is where it's like your caveman part of your brain. That is where you your thoughts enter your brain and you are in fight, flight, freeze mode. My husband convinced me fawn is not actually trauma response. It is a trauma reaction. That's a whole nother video. Anyway, so flight, flight, freeze. So if you're unfamiliar with these terms, flight is like, I'm going to leave something, like there's a bear here, I'm going to run, right? Flight, fight is, I don't know, you are being violent towards me or something, or I'm fearful of my life, I'm gonna fight, whatever, I don't know. And freeze is like you just get stunned. You see a bear and you just freeze, right? Those are our trauma responses. So if we are acting, like if our thoughts get there, then we are acting in survival mode. I recognize as an educator who is spending 40 hours a week not having my own thoughts, that I was acting much in the fight, flight, freeze, or fawn part of, or sorry, not fawn, fight, fight, freeze part of my brain, the caveman part of my brain, because I didn't have the ability with all these tiny humans around me to actually get my thoughts all the way to that frontal lobe. That's our goal, okay? So I realized that I was very triggered. I was hyper stressed. I was like very reactive, because I was living in fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. I gotta remember to take fawn off. Okay. So what we want to do, and our goal in all of these skills and tools that we teach, is to slow down our brain and our processing. Okay. That is literally what we are training our brains to do through this work. So if we slow down our thoughts in our brains, and we stop here and we act on that thought here in the middle part of our brain, that is where we tend to be emotional. That's where we tend to, blame somebody else, not take accountability. That's where we tend to project, get really emotional, cry. Our thoughts are getting stuck there if we're feeling really dysregulated. Our things that we're saying aren't making sense because we're just really emotional, right? That's where we really emotionally react. And our goal is to get our thoughts to that frontal lobe. That is the last part of your brain to develop. It does not develop until you're 25-ish. I honestly don't feel like it felt fully developed for me until I was like 35. And like then I was like, and then it also took me going to Denver Springs and learning all these things to then be like, oh, okay, I can do this humaning thing and like figure this out. So I don't think we should consider adults until 35, 25, definitely not 18. Anyway, that frontal lobe doesn't develop until you're at least 25-ish. And that's where your logical part of your brain, that's where your logic comes in, right? That's where you are able to produce logical thoughts. That's where you're able to like not be like pulse racing, those sort of fight, flight, freeze, or fawn kind of feelings. Like you're slowing down your whole body to actually make sure that how you are reacting is appropriate for that needed response, right? So my husband is he's the mental health guy. He deals with a lot of trauma. And he literally has figured out how to get his thoughts to that frontal lobe so quickly, which is why he can go to really, really intense traumatic things and not freak out, not get into fight, flight, freeze mode, because he has already seen that. So he's like skipping past, right? He's also already processed this trauma before because he's seen that stuff, right? That's why when I say his brain and my brain literally function differently, it's absolutely like I still function here. My kids eat, I don't know, something out of a random closet and it's a bottle of magnesium or something. I don't remember what it was, right? Like I'm here, I'm calling, poison control, whatever. My husband is so cool and he's like, let me look into your pupils, like he's functioning here, okay? So all of the skills and tools that we teach literally help us to slow down our thoughts, process what we're trying to say, understand our emotions so that we can act appropriately and responsibly to those hard emotions that we are feeling. Okay. I say all that about the brain. I think that was pretty much everything I wanted to say about the brain. If you have comments or you have other things to share about the brain, I'm going to post this in Slack. Feel free to, in the comment section, add any other like interesting brain information that you know. I think that we should build like a database of learning and opportunities for us to all kind of have this knowledge base of stuff. So if you have brain stuff, drop it in the Slack underneath this video. All right, thanks y'all. Look, I did it in almost less than 7 minutes.